Welcome to SNT's 10 and 10. Sorry about the delay in getting this week's episode out, but my little sidekick Risky that you saw. Come here, buddy. This is my sidekick Risky. He's been to the vet. He's not feeling so good. We've made so many trips to the vet that I'm late getting this episode out. But at any rate, on this week's show, we feature fire on Booster 14, Starliner Truthbombs, Polar Mission complete, ULA bails out Blue Origin, all this and more next on SNT.
60 seconds.
This week, coming in at number 10, the base for the flame diverter was laid into the trench this week at Pad B, and we're awaiting the deluge system to go atop the frame. Pad B is rapidly growing closer to being operational. Perhaps by the end of May, Pad B will be good to go. Then shortly thereafter, we can expect to see demolition on the Pad A stand and similar flame trench there if Pad B proves successful. High Bay is still being demolished to make way for Starbase Giga Bay, and then we should see the same situation with the launch tower and flame trench at Cape Canaveral, Pad 39 Starship, with a flame trench there if Pad B is successful. The new flame trench and launch mount has been designed to make refurbishment and reuse much quicker. This week, coming in at number 9, SpaceX ULA and Blue Origin secure an equal split of $13.5 billion in launch contracts from the U.S. military. Coming in at number 8, Butch Wilmore discloses how serious the situation was aboard the Starliner with the thruster failures. Apparently, the condition of the spacecraft was outside the rules to approach the space station, and Wilmore was so nervous about whether or not the Starliner could even make it to re-entry that they requested exception to the rules so they could still dock at ISS. The ISS basically became their rescue craft. That explains Suni's excitement that you see here when they boarded the ISS. Butch and Sunny literally risked their lives testing Starliner and are truly American heroes. Coming in at number 7, the FAA incident reports closed on both Blue Origin's New Glenn and SpaceX IFT9. However, FAA review of the IFT8 loss is still active. This would presumably preclude IFT9 until that investigation is closed, although some outlets are reporting that it won't do IFT8 before IFT7 investigation closed. But my guess is with the 2 losses in a row, they're not going to be permitted to fly until IFT8 investigation closes, which is fine because there appears to be some delays in static firing of Ship 35 right now. And the FAA could be waiting for the test campaign for Ship 35 for SpaceX to confirm fixes to the Starship. We anxiously await the static fire campaign for Ship 35 at Massey's. Coming in at number 6, Amazon readies Project Kuiper satellites aboard Atlas V rockets from ULA. Amazon bought 9 Atlas Vs to launch Project Kuiper satellites until they get their New Glenn rocket operational. Kuiper is intended as a competitor to SpaceX's Starlink system. Coming in at number 5, NASA's looking to contract 2 private missions to the ISS. Each mission is commanded by a former NASA astronaut with ISS experience. Similar to the space flights like Polaris and Axiom and the New Shepard suborbital launches, private space travel for the super rich is somewhat controversial. But airline flight started with the super rich as well, but is now affordable by the masses. Hopefully this type of flight is paving the way for mere mortals like you and I to someday be able to go to space instead of the conspiracy nuts who seem to think that all the rich will be in orbit as we all suffer and die here on a dying Earth. Coming in at number 4, the Lyrid Meteor Shower peaks this month. North American residents will be able to see the spring meteor shower, but the anticipated peak will occur during daylight on the eastern seaboard. But if you live in Hawaii, the home of my birth, I was actually born in Hawaii. I was born in Oahu at Triple Army Hospital. But residents of Hawaii will be in the nighttime during the peak. So aloha Lyrid, or mahalo as it were. Coming in at number 3, SpaceX Falcon 9 has launched 4 times since our last episode. Missions include 3 Starlink and a Crew Dragon with Fram2. All boosters were recovered with Just Read the Instructions drone ship logging 2 catches this week. Coming in at number 2, rumors were true. SpaceX does intend on reusing Booster 14 for Flight 9. And this week they static fired Booster 14 at Pad A. The static fire didn't last as long as usual, and we're still awaiting the static fire of Ship 35 ahead of Flight 9. Coming in at number 1, the Fram2 mission was launched and recovered in the last week. The mission flew in polar orbit observed aurora borealis, grew mushrooms in space, and performed some medical experiments, including the first X-rays in space. The mission launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft and was recovered in the Pacific Ocean on April the 4th. This was SpaceX's first recovery of a Dragon spacecraft from the Pacific Ocean, and all seemed to go well. And when the astronauts were recovered, they actually deboarded the Dragon without any assistance from personnel as part of the medical experiments to see if that was possible. So I'm sorry about the abbreviated episode, folks, this week. My dog's been a priority. My poor dog, Risky, he's coming up on 13 years old and he's having some health problems. So if this was shorter or longer, I don't know how the edit's going to work out. I apologize. And if it seems kind of contrived and thrown together, hopefully we can get it back to normal next week. But right now, my dog is my number one concern instead of dreaming about space. But thank you all for tuning in. And tune in next week. We'll see how it goes.
60 seconds. That's one.